under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, getting a couple minute late start here tonight. We just finished a pre-council meeting having to do with Levy Park with some consultants, so apologize for the late start. I do have several announcements I'd like to make. One, there is an air quality monitoring meeting tomorrow at 4 o'clock from 4 to 6 at the Senior Friendship Center. Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, the City Council, the Planning Commission, the Environmental Quality Board, and others will be there. It's a public meeting. The conversation will be taking place among the elected and appointed officials with the public watching. I just want to also say that this weekend is a very busy weekend. There's a lot going on. Live at the Levy and Levy Park. I think it starts at noon, goes into the evening. Winona Health has their, what used to be the birthday ball. I think it's does anybody know what it's called this year?
The birthday ball?
Yeah, it's not the birthday ball. It's has a new name, but it's this weekend on Saturday night. And the cemetery walk for the Historical Society is both Saturday and Sunday at Woodlawn Cemetery, from starting at noon with the last tour leaving the gate at 3 o'clock. So keep all that in mind. And this Wednesday, the fire department is going to be having an open house at the Central Fire Station from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. And we also have some awards tonight. I'd like to ask Deb Ward, who chairs the Fine Arts Commission, to come forward and help present the awards.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor and members of City Council, for giving me, on behalf of the Fine Arts Commission, the opportunity to publicly recognize the recipients of this year's Fine Arts Commission Awards. First of all, though, I would like to just mention the names of the individuals who are on the Fine Arts Commission and recognize them for all of the time and effort that they put in, attending the monthly meetings and the different things that we work on. The members are currently John Swanson, Patrick Grace, Jim Troughton, Claire Richards, Ann Plummer, Greg Neidhart, Crystal Hagee, and Sam Brown. And I'd also like to say a huge thank you from the Fine Arts Commission to Chad Ubel, who unfortunately decided he didn't want to be our staff liaison anymore this year, but we now have the wonderful Julie Fassbender. She's doing an amazing job, but we did want to say thank you to Chad again for all the work that he did with us. The first recipient of this year's award is Jamie Schell. Jamie was born in Rolling Stone, Minnesota, attended Southeast Technical College, worked for Fastenal, but eventually decided to pursue his passion for woodworking while living in Hawaii. In 2011, he returned to Winona, founded his workshop, and I hope I'm saying this right, Olmus Americana, where he creates beautiful custom-made furniture, architectural features, sculpture, and wall-hanging art. In addition to his own projects, he has partnered with the Winona County Historical Society to produce two popular exhibitions, The Art of Fine Furniture in 2013 and 2014, with local, regional, and national woodworkers. He is also very active in the Live at the Levy group, bringing live music and art to the riverfront. He is an example of the type of creative individual the city of Winona likes to attract and retain in our community.
I just want to say thanks to the city of Winona for continuing to have wonderful things to do and supporting the arts community in general. I think it has great potential for this city. Thank you.
Jamie, I just have to say, if people don't know, he also created the gift that we sent to Japan this last year. Beautiful woodwork with a stone-cut arrowhead. absolutely loved by the Japanese people, and I just want to make sure people know that he did create this beautiful piece of artwork for me to take over to Japan. It was absolutely stunning.
Thank you for asking me to do that.
Our next recipient is Eric Sorensen. Eric Sorensen spent 2 decades as Winona's city manager, retiring in 2011. During his years as city manager, Eric interacted with the mayor and council to promote the arts, which he believed would make Winona a great place to live and a regional destination. Some notable projects that came from his work are the Winona Dakota Unity Alliance's annual Dakota Homecoming, the Great River Shakespeare Festival, Frozen River Film Festival, Theater de Mississippi, and the Great Blue Heron Project. These events are great examples of what the arts can do for a community. Eric Sorensen was also instrumental in opening up the Masonic Temple to area organizations and businesses for use. He developed interest and support for the historic Masonic Temple as a city treasure and a thriving arts event hub. His support of the arts in Winona is ongoing. He currently serves on the Levy Park Committee. Eric wanted to make sure to note that none of these efforts would have occurred without the efforts of many people throughout the years, and that he only played a part in all of it.
Thank you. Kind of weird standing here receiving this. I got notification just a little while ago, and it was fun. It was fun to be involved, and I just happened to be here, from my perspective, at the right time, especially when Will and Maggie came along. Maggie is the real artist, but Will was the guy who put things together, and we were able to start at least efforts towards Shakespeare and Frozen River Film Festival and Theater de Mississippi. And I was the guy behind the scenes. I don't wear funny hats, even though I like Billy Cremano. I know I couldn't emulate him. And it's, again, kind of strange being on this receiving end of this. But I enjoyed my time. It was time out for me. I felt it was a gift from the community. Thank you.
And our third recipient this year is the Frozen River Film Festival. The Frozen River Film Festival presents the art of documentary filmmaking to celebrate community and to connect audiences with filmmakers and other artists who explore global and local issues that focus on our human connection to the world. This festival will be celebrating its 10th year during 2015. Since the inception of the festival, Winona has seen an increased awareness and focus on filmmaking in the educational institutions and throughout the community. 3,400 patrons from Winona and beyond joined the 2014 festival to engage with world-renowned filmmakers, local artisans, and regional experts. The festival provides community and tourism for Winona during the winter. The festival boasts collaborations with many artists, businesses, institutions, and venues, making it a truly unique Winona, Minnesota arts event.
Remember me? I'm the board chair of the Frozen River Film Festival, but I want you to know the real work gets done by people like Kathy Florine, get up here, Kathy, and Bernadette Mahfood and Crystal Hagee. Crystal Hagee is our festival director. Kathy is the assistant director. Crystal is on the arts board, but was not part of this vote. She just had joined the arts board. But these are the three people that really get the work done here. And I just want to read this. It's a mission of the Frozen River Film Festival here in Winona. It's short. The Frozen River Film Festival offers documentary films and programming that engage, educate, and activate our community become involved in the world. We've done that, and we tend to not do it in a boring way. So I want to thank you very much for this, and Kathy, will you please say thank you from the staff?
Yeah, on behalf of the film festival, I'd like to thank the city of Winona for your support. And like Mike said, there's numerous people who put effort and hours and time and energy into this festival. So on behalf of the film festival, we'd like to thank them as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. City manager?
First of all, just congratulations to all the award recipients. Secondly, the diagonal parking on Main Street between 2nd and 4th Street will hopefully be completed this week, depending upon weather. So that is taking place. That's all.
That's it? Okay, roll call.
Mayor Peterson.
Here?
Councilman Thurley.
Here.
Craig.
Here.
Alexander. Here. Iden. Here. Borzakowski.
Here.
Double.
Here.
Under the required public hearings, the first item is 2.1, the proposed liquor license fees for 2015.
Declare the public hearing open. Is there anybody here that wishes to speak? Come to the podium and.
Is that just about that or about my subject?
If it has to do with the liquor license fees. Okay. We'll probably get to you later. All right. Anybody here wish to speak to the liquor license fees for 2015? Last chance. Anybody wish to speak to the liquor license fees for 2015? Hearing none, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Is there
I'd move
opposed, accepted to the fee? A motion by Paul, seconded by Michelle. Any discussion? Pam?
I would like to know, when was the last increase in these fees and for how much?
I think we increase them every year, pretty much.
Every year?
I believe the last increase was last year, and it was about 2% as well.
Thank you.
Other comments, George?
I will be voting against this like I have the past 15 years. I just don't see a need for a increase every year. You add them up over 15 years, and it's a pretty hefty increase.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Item 2.2 is to levy assessments for the 2014 sidewalk replacement project. And I would note we've distributed and revised assessment roll this afternoon. There were 3 property owners' assessments had been revised due to a change in the quantity or the number of squares in their sidewalk that were replaced. So the new total assessment roll would be $13,859.10.
Okay, public hearing. I'll declare the public hearing open. Anybody that wishes to speak to the levy assessments for the 2014 sidewalk replacement project, step to the podium. Anybody here wish to speak to the sidewalk replacement project? Final time. Anybody wish to speak to the sidewalk replacement project? Hearing none, I'll declare the public hearing closed.
I would so move to adopt the attached resolution to levy the assessments.
Motion by George, seconded by Michelle. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Item 2.3 is to levy assessments for the 2014 Franklin Street reconstruction project. And this is to assess 9 properties, $1,740 each to replace water service lines.
Okay, it's a public hearing, so I'll declare the public hearing open. Anybody wish to speak to the levy assessments for Franklin Street? Step to the podium, state your name and address.
Bill Baker, my address is 344 Knott Valley Drive. I kind of made something for each one of the council people to look at. It's very short. Can I hand it up?
I want you to hand them to George and he can pass them. Okay, I think everybody has it.
Okay, if you look, it's gonna be short, but if you look at the first page, it kind of, the dark black line shows a new water service that the city of Winona installed down Franklin prior to where the road is at today. And if you look up on 9th and 8th, 7th, you can see some kind of dotted lines. It shows you, well, prior to this project, the city of Winona was servicing those houses off Franklin, off 9th and 8th and 7th Street. So when they put the new water lines in, the city had, they went along to each property, and if your lines were approximately 60 years or older, they forced the, not forced, I shouldn't say, whatever, they have the right to require the property owner to run a new water line from the main to the stop box. Okay, and then the property owner can choose to run it into the house or not. And so I was just kind of illustrating that first page just so you understand where the water lines were prior to this. If you go to page 2, I kind of just took my property in particular at 419 Franklin, and the dotted lines off 9th Street shows where the old water line serviced the house, and then there was a stop box out in the front yard, which then cut into my house. The new line, you see, comes straight from the street to the stop box and in. And when this project started, the first thing I did was I went to talk to a plumber I use. I have a lot of properties, and I also talked to a few of the neighbors about it too, but and talked to him about them hooking up to my old stop box. And he brought up the thing where they would have to run a 90-degree turn if I used the current engineering plan that the city was proposing to hook back into my stop box, which a 90-degree turn in a water line, for people to understand what copper will do, it'll cause a swirl, and it'll cause the line to fail, not right away, but in the near future. So like 4 to 5 years, they felt that that line would fail. So obviously, I'm not going to invest that kind of money where I'm already paying for the city side. So I got together with my plumber, and we also put a new water line into the house and redirected where the stop box was, so we wouldn't run into that problem. Okay. What the third page actually shows the same thing about the turn in there. But my big issue is not that the property owners are being forced to put new water lines in their houses. Though I can tell you right now, last winter I had 3 water lines fail. All 3 of them were water lines less than 20 years old. But and all my 70-year-old water lines held up. So apparently they dug them deeper back then or something. But my biggest gripe was this, is that if you had a water line which could be 59 years old, because it was 60 at the cutoff, okay, the city came in and they ran a new water line free from the city water line up to their stop box at no charge and no engineering fee. And my biggest thing is that I could see being fair charging the more or less $1,500 for running the new line to the stop box, but I disagree that one landowner should have to pay an engineering fee and another guy gets it free, where our water lines are 10 years apart. I mean, it's not like you put that water in 6 months ago and then the city came in and actually, according to my plumber, he said I probably could have done it just as cheap if I'd thrown in a water line a month before you guys started, and you would have replaced it for free. But my biggest beef is I don't believe that some people should pay an engineering fee, administrative fee. I asked them what the administrative fee was, and they said that was for engineering, so that's why I put that in my letter. I don't feel that I should have to pay that, and then another guy over here, not only did he get a brand new line at no charge, he also did not have any kind of fee. I don't know if there's any other questions there.
Any questions for Mr. Bacon? Michelle?
Bill, I don't see anyone that's not paying the administrative fee.
Well, you can ask. There is 50% of the people they did, if you'd have another 50%.
But I'm looking at the sheet he
I
gave
know,
us.
those are the people that are paying it. They don't put anyone on here that aren't.
There's another 20 homes that are affected by
Well,
this.
it's not quite, it's not as large a number as I thought, but it's difficult to tell, but I know it's more than 50% more that were not charged. The thing you have is what the city actually mailed to people that were being charged.
Maybe Mr. Nelson can address this.
Mayor and Council and Mr. Baker, there were 13 properties that had water services put in. 4 of those were not assessed. And the standard for assessment is there a benefit to that property that can be justified? Can we defend it? We have always, as far as I know, used 60 years, or if it's galvanized line, those lines need to be replaced because we believe they're at the end of the service life. I believe Mr. Baker's was 85 years old. 85
It
years
was
old.
built in
line.
1929.
Excuse me?
I know, 1929.
And the standard, that's the standard. Anything newer than that, I still think the benefit is greater than what we give, but it'd be hard to defend it in court. If it's, some of these lines are a 2002 copper line, a 76, a 92, and 82 were the 4 that we did not assess. Those are all copper lines, they're all relatively new. I would have a hard time defending that in a court someplace.
So this is the same thing you do throughout the city every time we run a new line, like we did on the other section of Franklin, same standard.
Every time we do a street construction project, we look at the water and sewer lines, and if the water lines are 6 years old or galvanized, we replace them and assess it. In this case, there were 4 other ones that were to the benefit of the city to have them replaced, rather than have this long line going, half a block away. It's a direct line to the water service.
So you don't charge the administrative fee to the people that are getting new line that's fits within that parameter because
That's correct.
you're not assessing them at all?
We're not assessing them anything. So we're just assessing the ones that are being adjusted by the benefit.
Okay.
Oh, Michelle?
What is the engineering fee, or it's not called that, administrative fee? What happens for that $240?
That's the, typically on any engineering project we do, there is about a 20% charge. Anything that we hire somebody else for is 20 plus. This is a 16% charge. It pays for salaries. It pays for both the finance department, it pays for the engineering department, for inspection, for design. It's all legitimate costs. They're part of the project. You can't do the project without an engineering stamp on it, without the observations, without the design, to know where the water lines are and all of that.
Thank you.
George?
Just so I understand this, these 4 properties you talked about, you did not replace those lines?
We did replace those lines.
You did replace those lines?
Yep.
And the homeowner was assessed? He was not assessed whatsoever for it?
If the lines are newer than 60 years, they were not assessed at all. Because they're newer lines.
Okay.
But we replaced them because of the benefit to the city. Rather than have them run half a block within the right-of-way, we wanted to come directly from the main to the house, a much shorter line than a long one in the future. If it ever needs to be replaced, they'd have to tear up half a block. We didn't want that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I understand once the hole is open, we might as well take advantage of regardless of what utility you have out there. And I'm sure some homeowners would probably, dispute that, but I know if I was one of them, I certainly would say whatever you can run in, run in. But I guess just wondering too, I guess the administrative fee, I just kind of boggled why that would not be charged. Of course, as you gave us the reason,
It's, any of the property owners along there that are receiving a new street, we could charge for the street reconstruction, we could charge for the curb and gutter, we could charge for the sidewalk. None of those things are assessed in Winona typically. It's just typically been the water services or sewer services. Again, these are water services that benefit the city to have them replaced.
So if I'm looking at this map here, your water service came off of 9th Street at one time?
Yes, it did.
And now it's coming off of Franklin Street?
It came straight in.
Straight in from Franklin Street. So the work was, I guess, was performed.
My disagreement isn't over paying for the water line. My disagreement is that if my neighbor gets a free line and his ran parallel to mine, and just because it's 20 years different, he gets a benefit. As Keith says, the city's benefit. No, he gets the same benefit I have, okay? Because now both of us have brand new lines into our property, And he's getting also not assessed an administrative fee. And that's what it just blows me away, because not only do I have to pay for my water line, which is, I have no problem with that, I get an administrative fee. He gets a free water line that could be 50 years old, okay? And he doesn't have to pay an administrative fee or an engineering fee. And I looked at my project, and I actually did the engineering on it. I changed what was gonna happen on that property so that the city didn't have to dig up the street in 5 years when it failed.
Of those 4 properties that were assessed, one of them was 2002.
Yeah.
The other ones are 92, 82, and a 76.
Well, 76 is getting pretty old.
It's getting old.
Yeah. So,
I object to that, by the way.
That's the year I got married. George?
Keith, those services you talked about when they were put in, what did those people pay to have that run? So I see here it's $1,500 regardless, but what would they have paid back then? Any idea?
For running that length of line? No, I think, we're put a brand new one now in with a street in place. What are we talking, $6,000?
Well, I can answer that because I've been doing it since then. And back in the time that they were putting those lines in, it was costing me about $2,500 to have it done. Today, it's costing me between $6,000 and $7,000. And so, the fee, the charge for putting water lines has gone up dramatically.
George?
So in general, Bill, what are you asking?
I'm asking that the administrative or engineering fee not be either assessed to everybody or nobody.
Okay.
I mean, we're already, there's no question I can afford it. But I also look at my neighbor across the street, and he called, and they say, well, you can, some law in Minnesota says you can pass it on down your property tax later on, something like that. But I do believe that the fairness is, if I'm being charged for an engineering fee, then that person should be too, because we're both getting a benefit, and he's getting a benefit without having to pay for a new line on top of it.
When this line in the 80s was put in, or 2002, did that party pay a administrative fee then?
I would suspect those were not assessed. Those were put in at their own
At
cost.
their own expense, so, okay. And they probably would have paid a lot more than the $1,500 here. I would imagine, so, as we touched, so. Okay.
Well, thank you, Bill.
Okay.
Is there anybody else here that wishes to speak to this issue? Anybody else wish to speak to the 2014 Franklin Street Reconstruction Project? Last chance. Anybody else wish to speak to the Franklin Street Reconstruction Project? Hearing none, I'll declare the public hearing closed and open it up for council discussion. Is there a motion?
I would move to to adopt the attached resolution and levy the assessments.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Michelle and seconded by Al. Further discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
Although this doesn't really help Bill, maybe we can look at how we charge that administrative fee in the future. He does have a valid argument that, your argument makes sense that we did benefit because now the street won't get torn up and be patched in, but they still did get a new line, and in the future, maybe we can look at if everyone pays at least the administrative fee, because the service was still provided, even if we're not assessing the full cost of the water line, because I think your argument is valid, they wouldn't have probably chosen to have the line put in. But I think that administrative fee was still, your work services were still used. That would be my only comment.
Okay. Pam? Pam, you need to turn your microphone towards you. There we go.
I would agree with that. I think that we need to look at the policy again.
I agree.
Administrative fee.
Okay.
Mayor?
Yes, Al.
I guess I'd ask if anybody in staff knows how long the city has been charging an administrative fee for these kinds of services. I suspect it's been a while. And I also further suspect that rather than hide those fees in the cost of doing the total assessment, it was broken out just simply to clarify those administrative fees. So one way or another, they have to be covered. There's some costs involved, and as we look at this, as other council people have suggested, that we see how those costs run out as well.
George?
Go ahead, Paul.
I would tend to agree with what the discussion is, that I think that we need to look at that, and I think that, well, somebody's getting a free water line, that they should still pay the administrative fee because their service is getting upgraded. And so there needs to be a cost there. I think it's, but I agree that the whole policy should be revisited.
Yes.
George, you had something?
Yeah, if they got a new water line, I mean, it certainly, is a benefit. Administrative fee of $240 is very, very reasonable for that new water line. I wouldn't see anybody disputing that. I would amend, I don't know if I can amend the motion or whatever, that, or if we can do this, that the 4 properties that are in question that have no assessments, that we assess at least an administrative fee.
Yes.
If there hasn't been a notice of assessment at this point in time, I'm not sure we can do that now.
Okay.
Certainly with, a lot of cities do assessments it's all over the spectrum in terms of how it's done. In this particular case, certainly engineering, administrative costs, as Councilmember Thurley mentioned, oftentimes that's just in the overall costs that get assessed. Cities then take the totality of what it costs and then spread that cost, partially covered by the city and partially covered by property owners. In this case, what you've done here is fine, but it's a policy for the council to look at and figure out if that's the way you want to do it in the future. I don't think you can do that with this one now.
Okay.
I mean, I would agree too with some of the conversation here that it would be, I think it seems fairer if you would just divide those charges among all the homeowners that are getting the new lines, and just the fees would go down, everybody's sharing in it, and it would be simpler and I think more acceptable.
Yep.
Al?
I just have a comment. I thank Mr. Baker for educating me and probably other members of council on damage to copper pipes from swirls. I never knew that. Had to look it up. It's actually called impingement damage. So it's a kind of an interesting process that copper pipes go through when there's a sharp angle or a lot of water flowing through it, which I never knew. So I thank you for that, besides our discussion tonight.
Other comments?
Nothing, I just thought, you just said squirrels, and I was, just a joke.
All right, on that, we'll vote. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carries.
Item 2.4 is to levy assessments for the 2014 miscellaneous utilities projects. And this would be to assess 2 properties, water and sewer access fees of $12,000 each.
Okay, it's a public hearing. I'll declare the public hearing open. Anybody here wish to speak to the item for miscellaneous utilities project? Anybody here wish to speak to the miscellaneous utilities project? Last time, miscellaneous utility project. Anybody wish to speak? Hearing none, declare the public hearing closed and ask for council.
I move to adopt the attached resolution.
Motion by Michelle, seconded by George. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carries.
Item 2.5 is to levy assessments for the 2014 water and sewer access fees for 370 West Burns Valley Road.
Okay, that's a public hearing. I'll declare the public hearing open and ask if anybody here would like to speak to the levy assessments for 370 West Burns Valley Road. Anybody here wish to speak to the levy assessments for 370 West Burns Valley Road? Last chance. Levy assessments for 370 West Burns Valley Road. Hearing nobody, I'll declare the public hearing closed.
I would so move to adopt the attached resolution to levy the assessments.
Second.
Motion by George, seconded by Michelle. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carries.
Under the petitions, requests, and communications, Item 3.1, reappointments to the Planning Commission of Dale Betcher, Wendy Davis, and Ken Fritz.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jerry, seconded by Michelle. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carries.
Item 3.2 is caroling by candlelight request by Becky Wisted for Friday, December 5th at Wyndham Park.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion by Jerry, seconded by Al. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carries.
Item 3.3 is the Live at the Levee sign request for Central Park, December 8th through the 22nd.
Move to approve that request.
Motion by Michelle,
Second.
seconded by George. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carries.
Item 3.4 is a request to eliminate the no parking loading zone on West 4th Street.
I move to introduce the attached ordinance.
Second.
Motion by Michelle, seconded by Jerry. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carries.
Item 3.5 is a request for an adjustment to the utility bill for the Winona Athletic Club.
State your name and address.
Dear council members, my name is Terry Howell, and I'm the club manager of the Winona Athletic Club. Last January, we had a pipe break in our bowling alley, and when I found it, it must have been, I don't know, about a day and a half later, and there must have been like 2 inches of water on the floor. And so what I did is, I, of course, turned off the water main. I tried to get as much water as I possibly could out of there. I called Boomer's Plumbing to fix the pipe that broke. It was behind the wall, so we had to get a hole in the wall, fix the pipe, and that was spendy for us. But what had occurred was a $792 water bill. And me being a spokesman for the Winona Athletic Club, we paid, our taxes are like $10,000 a year, and they were gonna accrue it on our taxes at the end of the year. And to tell you the truth, we really can't afford that right now. All the water basically went in the wall, so it didn't go in the sewer or anything. So basically, I was just wondering if the council would either reduce it or remove it so that it wouldn't be put on our taxes at the end of the year.
Okay, any questions? Mr. Howell?
Terry, that bowling alley, that's no longer operable, correct?
Yes, inoperable, right?
Inoperable,
Yeah.
right.
How long has it been since that's been used?
It hasn't been used for about 2 years now.
Okay. Michelle?
I think what I've read here is that Keith already reduced your water bill because that it did not run into the sewer?
Right.
Is that not correct?
Right.
Okay.
But I'm just saying all the unused water that just basically went in the ground, we had, like I said, I went down there just to check because the heat was on, but the pipe happened behind the wall, so.
What was the overall reduction, half?
273.
Pam?
Yes, so I just would like a little education about the athletic club. Is it now a private, is it a private?
Yes, we're a nonprofit, yep, we're a
private
private club,
nonprofit?
yes, yep.
Okay.
And we have 350 members in the organization. Basically, everything that all the bills and stuff that we have to pay out of our general fund, because we no longer have our gambling, that kind of stuff. When you had our gambling, we could have our real estate taxes taken out of that and that kind of stuff, but we no longer have our gambling, so all of our taxes have to be paid out of our general fund. And like I said, that's like $10,000 a year.
So what's the primary purpose of the athletic club? If there's no, I know about the pizza.
Right, no, we're members, we have a hall, reception hall upstairs, and we have weddings and that kind of stuff, so on and so forth. And we've been a member since, we've been a club at 5th and Mankato since 1930. So we've been an operating club for 84 years. And we still keep a $20 donation, $20 dues for all the members, and they can come in, and we have function. We have a children's Christmas party in December, and we hire a Santa Claus. We donate a couple bicycles, and we have cookie decorating. That's probably one of our biggest functions. We have cotton candy and all the kids and all the grandkids. I mean, we're open to anybody can come in. So basically, they get a big bag of goodies during Christmas time. If they want to reduce, any of the members want to use a hall for any functions, it's a $50 reduction for the hall upstairs, for the reception hall. And then if we have an embassy room, we call it in the front room. If any members want to use it, they get free of charge. So there are some benefits for being a club, for the members who get some benefits.
Thank you.
Michelle?
I think it'll be no surprise to anyone that I'm not really in favor of reducing your utility bill. Terry, what I would be willing to propose and make a motion that instead of assessing it to your taxes, that we set up a payment plan with the city finance department, which is something we talked about doing previously, so that you don't have to pay that assessment onto your utility bill on your taxes. I think that Keith already reduced your bill by $273 for that water that did not run through the sewer. And I think that is fair that he did that since it did not go through the sewer line. But I would rather set up a payment plan with you that did not incur late fees, which we talked about previously. And that would be the motion I would make, but I'm not in favor of reducing the bill at this time.
Keith, you want to speak?
No, that's a motion, so.
Yes, I did.
Okay, we have a motion and a second by Paul. Keith, would you like to speak?
Again, Mayor and Council, this has already gone through the hearing process, and it will be assessed, unless, according to the notice, if it's paid before October 15th, then if the unpaid balance is paid, then it can be taken off, but otherwise, it is an assessment.
Okay, then I guess I would withdraw my motion.
No, withdraw my second. All right.
Mayor?
George?
The bill of 1,014, I say, the sewer tax was reduced, which it should have been reduced because it did not go into the sewer. The rest of it, yeah, it's water. We've had a lot of unfortunate situations this year. I would motion that we would reduce the water bill by $200, and that would be done in the line of credits as stated in our agenda item.
I'll second it.
Motion by George, seconded by Al to reduce the bill by $200. Further discussion? I guess I'm going to state along with Michelle that I'm not really a big fan of reducing water bills. We've had numerous requests for reducing water bills, and I just don't. I sympathize with the property owners, but I'm just not a big fan of reducing water bills, so I'm not going to vote for it. Any other discussion? Pam?
Yes, well, I just think that because we have 350 members here, and it's a community organization that's been existing for a long time in an old building, I would definitely support a $200 reduction in the bill.
Okay. Any other comments? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Oppose?
Aye.
4-3, I believe. Motion carries.
Item 3.6 is a request to hold a 5K at Lake Park for the kids' sports gymnastics on Sunday, October 12th.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jerry, seconded by Michelle. Discussion?
Yeah, I have a question, maybe our attorney can answer this. Is this something where we require a hold harmless agreement when things like this happen on our property?
Typically for bigger events, we do require a license agreement. I'm not involved in this one, so I don't know what the status of this is. The city clerk may be able to respond to that.
Mayor and Council, I'm not sure how large an event this is. It just came to our attention on Wednesday. They're organizing it kind of quickly because of the recent fire. But I would note, we do have 5Ks at the lake almost every week, and there's only a few that are large enough that we have license agreements for.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. I support the motion then.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carries.
Good luck.
Thank you. I just want to thank you guys. Quick notice.
You want to step to the podium? State your name and address.
I'm Cheryl Benson, and I'm here to, I'm sorry, I'm here to represent Kids for Gymnastics. My daughter's been doing it since she's been 5 years old, and she just wants to give back to Winona, and she feels that what a better way to do it than to, try and do a 5K block run, so.
Well, good luck to you
All right,
guys.
yeah,
Thank
good luck.
you. Thank you.
Hope the weather's nice.
Yeah, thanks.
Moving on to new business, item 5.1 is the orderly annexation request from Al Balawi and Torbenson for 1720 Valley View Drive.
I would move the attached resolution. Second.
Motion by Al, seconded by Paul. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carries.
Item 5.2 is the compliance engine for the Winona Fire Department.
Any comments from the chief?
Mayor and Council, we are a smidge behind the technology curve in our fire prevention office. There's nobody to blame, but this would be a baby step to maybe get us moving in the right direction as far as documentation and inspections. Like I said, the hope with the adoption of this would be the assurance of 100% compliance with all our fire safety codes, be it inspections or hood inspections and so forth. It also would be streamlining our in-house documentation and our inspections with the implementation of this. The key to this as chief of the department would be eliminating dozens upon dozens upon dozens of man-hours used just for the clerical end that we find ourselves using. My ultimate goal would be to free Assistant Chief Jason Tisch up for doing actual fire inspections. And right now, the system has bogged him down to the point where we're just not getting out and doing the inspections that we need to do. I brought Jason along to explain how the compliance engine actually works, and I will turn over to Jason.
Hi, Mayor and council members. I apologize for not being before meeting you. This is the first time before the council, so thanks for having me. Basically what the compliance engine is, it's a third-party web-based system which tracks, right now when basically all the Winona Fire Department is tracking is sprinkler systems. We do get reports on fire alarm systems. Very seldom do we get reports on anything else. What happens when we get that, we receive it either by email or we receive, sometimes people, the contractors await, they'll send a big manila envelope full of completed inspection reports. We will get them, and then what we have to do is we have to separate them and we file them into, every business in Winona has a we call it the building card file. Every address will take them out, put them in there. What Chief was saying, it'll really streamline that operation. So basically what they'll do, instead of submitting it to us, they'll submit it to what's called the compliance engine. It's a Brycer company, they're based out of Illinois. And basically it's a hands-off reporting system. We'll immediately know if we have web access anywhere, whether a system is deficient or compliant, and we can log right on. It'll say just within the last 24 hours, we got 5 reports of, that they're compliant and 2 that are deficient, which we can then follow up on.
I'd like to move the approval of the system.
Second.
Motion by Jerry, seconded by Michelle. Any further questions or comments?
Yeah, I do. This is a widely used system. You mentioned the departments behind.
There's many departments going to it, and we actually somehow got on an email list where we receive from the compliance engine departments that are, we usually get one every day of new departments that are doing it, and I think it's the future.
Okay, and there's a cost to the business?
There's no cost to the city. There will be, right now, we're hoping that the cost is going to be, the contractor will basically accept that cost. There's a possibility that it could get passed on to the business owner. We're hoping that's not the case. But if it does, it's a $10 annual fee, and that'll remain constant throughout the life of the contract.
Now, I notice in the letter from Brycer about this is that it's basically free for 3 years. Is that, or it has a 3-year period with an automatic renewal?
The contract is good for 3 years, but
Yeah.
the $10 fee for the annual inspection will remain the same.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Paul?
Does the business owner file the report on the web, or does who physically does the inspection?
So what happens when the business comes up for their annual inspection, the sprinkler contractor or the sprinkler company will come in and do the inspection, and they'll leave a copy usually with the business owner, but usually it's the sprinkler contractor that sends us the information.
If it's a non-sprinkle business, it doesn't apply?
No, but originally we were thinking about just doing sprinkler systems, but we thought that we would go for the all fire and life safety systems, sprinkler systems, fire alarm systems, fire escapes, CO2 extinguishing systems, kitchen hood and duct cleaning.
How will that fit in with the regular city inspections department doing their check of are you only doing businesses, or are you doing apartments? What, if you have an inspection where they come in and look to see that your life-saving device, are we?
The city inspection they do the residential. Yeah, we're in charge of doing the businesses.
What I'm asking is what qualifies as a business? What, does that encompass a multi-unit apartment building that does not fall under the same conditions as a residential unit?
Nope, that would still be under residence.
Okay, so there would be no duplication of fee or service?
No.
Okay.
Additional questions? All right, we have a motion. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes.
Item 5.3 is an amendment to the city code for fire prevention, and it would be to approve the electronic filing of fire systems.
Move to introduce the ordinance.
I'll second that.
Motion by Jerry, seconded by Pam. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Item 5.4 is the permanent right-of-way easements and permanent drainage and utility easement for the alley between Gilmore and Mark Street and Cummings and Francis Streets.
Move to approve the attached resolution.
I would second that.
Motion by George, seconded by Pam. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 5.5 is the certification of completion, final estimate, resolution of acceptance for the Country Drive Water Main Extension Project.
Move to approve the attached resolution.
Second.
Motion by Al, seconded by George. Discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes.
Item 5.6 is the certification of completion, final estimate, resolution of acceptance for the 2014 Bituminous Mill and Overlay Project, also known as the 2014 Residential Street Program.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jerry, seconded by Michelle. Discussion? George?
I hear nothing but comments on that, on this program, so.
All good.
All good, you bet, all good.
We do bituminous well.
Yeah, there you go.
So the budget was $1 million. This came in at 900. Is that 100,000 going to be available to be added on to the project
To
next year?
future projects,
Okay, cool.
correct.
Good.
In the west end.
Yes, the west end.
And any other
Sorry,
comments?
George. The west end.
First four did okay.
Any other comments? All those in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Carries.
Item 5.7 is approval for the mayor to sign a memorandum of understanding for the control of invasive plants in Winona County.
So moved.
Second that.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Pam. Any comments?
I think this is a great idea.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. I'm sorry. Motion carries. Jump the gun.
Item 5.8 is to award the contract for ash tree removal in 2014, and Public Works Director has distributed a memo this evening.
Keith?
Mayor and council, we did receive 5 proposals to do this work, and 4 of those proposals are underneath the budgeted amount of money that we have available. We're not complete to the point of ready to sign the contract. There's some discussion that we're still going on to make sure that we're clear on exactly what's going to be done. My request would be that because of the need for time, expediency of time on this, is that the council approve us to continue that negotiation and to enter into a contract, the staff to enter into a contract with the lowest cost contractor that complies with our requirements.
And who is that? Can you name that individual?
Right now, the 2 lowest are Reed's Tree Service and today's Tree Service out of Alaska.
Okay.
I'd make that motion. That you be allowed to execute.
Motion by Michelle, seconded by Pam. Discussion? George?
We're gonna enter a contract with both of them, or?
The lowest price of those 2.
Oh, okay, you don't know what that is yet, or?
We have numbers from those, but I don't want to release those yet because we're still discussing.
Okay.
That's right. Just want to make sure we're real clear on everything. We gave out a proposal, we had an amendment, there was some misunderstanding on the amendment, and we just have to be clear. They're close enough that, well, they're close enough in cost.
Have we worked with the other one before?
They have done on Alaska, no we have not. They've done on Alaska, they've done La Crescent, they did 10,000 trees in Cross. They're a large, successful contractor.
When there's a tie, do we go local?
We can go, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, my only concern here is that we make sure that it's under the budgeted amount, which you indicated earlier it would be.
Yeah, the 4 of the 5 were.
Okay.
Other questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll vote on the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Passes.
Item 5.9 is the Winona Police Department Officers LELS Local 75 2014 Labor Agreement.
Move to approve the 2014 labor agreement.
Second.
Motion by George, seconded by Paul. Any further discussion? Al?
Is this the last of our labor contracts?
This is the final contract.
Is the final, okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes.
Item 7.1 is council concerns.
We'll start with Al tonight.
Let's see, belated happy 5th birthday to my grandson Caden last week. We had the party and it was fun. He was Mario. No, he was Luigi. Okay. And I also just have a suggestion for our clerk that we check the audio system. It seems to be giving us some feedback tonight, so I'm sure that will be checked into by the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Jerry?
Nothing to say.
Michelle?
Just a reminder that tickets are on sale and limited now. Most of them have been sold for the Progressive Dinner. You can get them from the chamber office.
Paul?
Got a few items. One, during the bridge construction down on the levee, I would, if there's a way that we can stripe it so that instead of people driving into the parking place, they can back into the parking place. I've gone down there several times for lunch and noticed that people want to watch the construction going on. So everybody is parking completely opposite to the stripes so they can see the construction. So, just, you know, if it's possible to do that, that's fine, because everybody's doing it anyway.
Which parking lot is that?
This is right on the levee.
Oh, okay.
Cal-friendly.
And they want to be able to face the bridge, and so they're just backing in and having lunch and watching the bridge construction. The other item I have for the county attorney would be to ask, the city of Minneapolis is proposing next to the stadium some airspace lease agreements. And I would ask that we check to find out what statute authority that runs under, and for possible consideration as we look at ways to develop the levee, and just what statute authority that they're actually leasing the airspace above either parking areas or land, and for considerable dollars. And the other thing is that several months ago, we had asked about the Port Authority to talk to the WAIDA, that they had wanted to sell their property, and understand over the summer they couldn't get together. And as we get into the fall season, just wondering how those discussions with WAIDA are progressing. And also for the Port Authority to look at accessing the 400-acre Stone Park Industrial Park, only 35 acres of which represents the old county landfill, but to see if there's a possibility to talk to the county board about us utilizing that as an industrial park. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Can I update you, Paul? The Port Authority's negotiating committee has met with representatives of WADA.
They have.
And those discussions are continuing.
Oh, okay. That's what I wanted, is an update to find. I hadn't heard anything.
Pam?
Yes, I want to thank Keith Nelson for sending an update on the traffic study. I got an email about that, and so I understand that the initial phase is underway. When will this analysis by the Stantec Consulting Group be finished, do you think?
Which part of the analysis, and didn't I state that in my...
Yeah, you just called it the first phase and what it would consist of, but I don't see any place in here when it would be done, so.
I'll get back to you on that. I don't recall the dates. Just...
Okay, but we're moving along on that, and it's going to be soon then.
Yep, they've been here, they've done their initial reconnaissance, they are studying on the traffic accidents, the traffic counts. I don't think they've done the traffic counts yet, and that's one of the issues. But I can get you a hard date, I don't have the top.
I emailed you that question, and the response I received, I thought was 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
2 to 3 months from when, excuse me?
Well,
from June?
When that memo was sent out.
Oh, from September then, okay. Thank you, that's all.
George?
I know I've had a lot of phone calls, I'm sure other members of council may have had them as well, but the left turn lane on Mankato Avenue onto Sarnia Street is now newly resurfaced. It's not like you're going on a sled, and a lot of compliments for that. Just a little bitumious, and things can really change lives around, so.
Sarnia's pretty good too.
Yeah, Sarnia's very good as well too. What does a person need to do for the public as far as applying for a handicap parking sticker?
A sticker or a parking
Well,
place?
a parking sign in front of your house.
Oh, I was thinking.
Keith, you want to address that?
We do all of the parking issues by ordinance, so they would need to, I guess, submit something to engineering and Public Works, and they would take a look at it and then give us the information and we put the ordinance together.
Okay, so if a person wants a handicap sign in front of their home, they would just contact engineering or city clerk's office first.
Mayor and council, they would contact the city engineer, and I would
Okay.
note there is a fee for the
Okay,
sign.
yes. And then a follow-up on that. Are handicap parking stalls in front of your home, are they exempt from alternate side parking? I said, I don't believe they are, but some people that have them would maybe kind of like to see that, because that's,
How do you do that?
you know, so yeah, you know. But they're
They
not.
wouldn't, they
That'd
wouldn't
be
want it that way
horrible,
because, yeah, when they get out.
Plowed in.
That'd be horrible for them.
Okay, it's,
Horrible.
Yeah, they don't
okay,
want
it's
it.
not exempt, so, okay, all right, just some discussion that's swirling out there, so. And also this past weekend, the Neighborhood Watch Group of the Fourth Ward, they had their kickoff fundraiser for the Sobieski Park building. It was very, very successful. Many people throughout the city came down to patronize it. And a big thank you to everyone who worked this past Saturday. I'm going to try to hit everybody here, but the Amvets Club for their cooking, the Joe Lynch family, the Lukaszewski family, the Fuhrhelm family, Rosie from the pub for giving us an opportunity to use that facility, and the music Dr. Paul McRae for his tunes on this nice brisk Saturday. And a thank you to everyone who has purchased tickets, and thank you again very much to everyone who helped out in any way whatsoever. It was a great success. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, under the consent agenda, there are 5 items. Approval of the minutes from September 15th, the final adoption of an ordinance to establish handicap parking at 215 North Baker, an ordinance to establish 2 10-minute parking stalls on Wabasha Street by WK School, an ordinance to amend Chapter 67.03 for the municipal storm sewer system, and a claim against the city by Judy Sobek, Daryl Brennan, and James Perry Rental Properties.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Al, seconded by Paul. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carries.
Mayor, I move we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Here's the first.